Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to take a few minutes to respond by way of Kevin Murdaugh's recent social media post. And Murdaugh calls himself the anti-dog trainer. Again, I had several videos engaging his foolishness on social media, his whole methodology. And again, I want to respond by way, a recent post he put out regarding my member area and video content, talking about a lack of new content. Now, here's the thing. This is the same guy I had to actually throw out of my member area, due to violation of privacy by way of posting a video of a dog owner without permission. It was right in there in black and white. And this is the same guy that goes on about how he respects the truth and this whole thing about hypocrisy. So imagine that. That's the first thing. And this whole thing about content is understand that I have thousands of videos, instructional videos of me interacting with dogs, on as part of the member area. I spent years. I have all the content out there, lots of content that people can use, can watch to help them with their dogs. And so in comparison, if you look at the content this guy has, the content that he does put out, has so many gaps and holes in it, by way of his kind of quasi Cesar Millan, approach. You could run a transport truck through it, And the reason I say that, again, I've done several videos, on Murdaugh's approach. Again, you see moments where I talk about, like poor leash method, Because understand, when I talk about leash, I talk about this issue about a conversation with a dog. I talk about the issue about, being intentional by way of the right conversation, by way of control and influence. Here's a type of power play. But you watch one video, and that's why I say all it takes is just like, you don't have to watch a lot of someone's content, to know. But if you watch one video of his where he's out in the street with a German Shepherd, this guy was in such a speed wobble over his dog, just putting out like a moderate amount of challenge. It was a mess. He's struggling to get this dog's collar adjusted. This dog is just all, and again, in the same, frame of, him in terms of kind of like Zach Shores, like editing content. You talk about disciplining a dog and just how conveniently his battery failed, just, in that moment, right, of, disciplining this dog, and then the battery comes back on after the moment, so you're missing the whole segment of him disciplining a dog. So the question is, you kind of wonder what that would look like, when you consider the problems he's having with his with his dog putting out challenge and in a major speed wobble with even handling that. And but again, you watch some of his other video content. This is what I talk about. Some of these trainers, they're like a dime a dozen. It's like watching some of these videos, like watching a few Cesar Millan episodes, sprinkling some Brandon Fouché on top of it, and throwing up a website and just running with it. That's how it feels. And then the people that gravitate to these people, and if you look at these individuals, the same ones that can't handle the truth or can't handle it, and so people like this will tell them what they want to hear. Right, and again, dime a dozen. These are the same individuals I've thrown off my website for the same type of behavior with cheap shots, nothing constructive. A lot of these individuals haven't even worked with challenging dogs, or if they have worked with challenging dogs, 1 percentile dogs, they've bottomed out. That's just the way it is. So all to say, when you deal with people like Murdaugh, and again, I talk about the same playbook as some of these other individuals. It's nothing new. If you go look at the Christopher Upton, I'd encourage you to go look at the Christopher Upton podcast. They're still up. Upton passed away here a couple years ago, but it's the same playbook. It's the same, you know, go watch how Upton carried on about, you know, his idea about, you know, leashes, not using leashes. And, you know, he was caught up, embroiled in tremendous controversy. You know, just very, very similar to the Jeff Gelman situation. And these are the same individuals that have the most to say on social media. And they have supporters. Don't get me wrong, they got a lot. They can gather people up, no problem at all, because they tell people what they want to hear. But again, so many just holes and gaps. It's just like, again, you run it so many. You can run a transport truck through it. But again, as individuals, this is what I talk about. And you look at the state of the dog training world, the mess of the dog training world. Not wanting to ask, you know, questions, right? No critical thinking, right? And then someone steps forward like myself and says, "Here it is." They have a problem with it. So understand, it's a dime a dozen. These individuals, they're never, right, going to confront the real issue. It's just they're always just like a straw man argument. They're always trying to find something, right? But ask out the question, do they actually confront the real issue? And so I talk about the question of the century. Okay, it's posted top and center on my Facebook page. You can go read it. Guys like Murdaugh can't answer for a reason. Because they've already sold out. Okay, understand that they did what I never did. See, there's the difference. I didn't just, you know, go with it. I just didn't take a hold of something, not question as an individual, and just run with it, no matter how popular it was. But these people did. Okay, and you know, you talk about them want to be in a special category, be different. They're not different. They're not different. Okay, the good news about when I talk about a process is, you know, it's specific. Okay, there's a way to know. There's a way to apply the test. There's a way forward. Okay, that's what this system of training is all about. And that's not just a marketing gimmick. Okay, this is a complete system. But this is the most challenging system. And, you know, it can be the most difficult for those who aren't going to commit. Okay, or not going to ask the question. So, you know, but it's what people want or don't want. It's a personal choice. So all to say, when I deal with guys like Murdaugh and their whole thing with these cheap shots, I don't, you know, I'll respond to it. And people want to follow these people, go ahead. But, you know, take it with a grain of salt. These people are a dime a dozen. They're not doing anything new. They just follow the same playbook as other trainers like Upton. And on it goes. The dog training world is a train wreck for a reason. And these individuals, they're part of it. Thanks for watching.